The third thing that we'll look at in the three keys to beating the Commanders for the Browns it relates to the Browns offense. Vertical run game and attacking the DTs.
Well, if you see that, so a couple things here. You're going to see great movement by the Arizona Cardinals, who are not a superpower team. James Conner had over 100 yards rushing last week. And what you see really good double teams against Washington. So Allen and Payne are really big guys, 320, 300 inside. But they like to pass rush. Now, they're better against the run than their backups. Their backups who come in, there's a number of guys that do. They're not very good against the run. This is a pass rushing team. They like to get after the quarterback. They got big safeties, big linebackers. Wagner inside's really good. But they can get movement on this defensive line. The Browns, whether they run their zone, which they've been predominantly been running inside zone this year, or if they get back to their gap scheme, which last week they did. Ford's best run was on a counter that they had not run all game. That was their best run. Where if you think about a gap scheme, big guards coming around from one side to the other. So this is a week, regardless of what they run, they can get on these double teams. They got to get the run game going. That's going to help Watson. That's going to help the defense. That's going to help everything. The run game is important. The Browns don't have one right now. And this is the week where they can get this run game going and get it to their advantage and get some guys down the box and take some shots over top.
When you look at it, Browns haven't really run the football much. Do you think it's been because they've fallen behind? What do you think the reasons for the lack of a commitment to the run game have been?
Well, I think Kevin Stefanski is kind of looked at Dorsey, and they've kind of brought in this zone scheme, right? And Browns have run zone scheme, but under Kevin Stefanski, they've been very diverse. In fact, they've been able to run zone, gap schemes, pin and pull, you name it. They ran it, and I think the Browns need to get back to being a little bit more versatile in the run game. They've been predominantly zone, like I said. Now, whether it's zone or a gap scheme, you're still going to get a big double team inside. How many double teams you get, it depends on if it's duo or inside zone or whatever scheme it is, but you're going to get a double team inside. That's what they got to get back to. They got to get back to schematically, vertically displacing defensive linemen. They just, regardless of the scheme, they have not been very physical up front. That has a lot to do with injury and a lot to do with the scheme. So I think they got to get back to some 12 personnel, maybe a little 13 if necessary, and start getting a mentality where they're going to run the ball downhill. They'll be getting Nick Chubb back here soon. You would think he looked pretty good physically from what I've seen from social media today. So I don't know. I think they got to figure out a way to get the run game going. It's got to be in those double teams, and I think it's going to be the gap scheme they're going to get back to a little bit.
Do you think getting David Njoku back potentially, which they didn't practice today, or yesterday rather, wasn't supposed to practice on Thursday. Do you think getting him back helps the run game?
Well, it does, especially, it did, especially last year because they were so much pin and pull. To be honest with you, the zone run game, it's not huge on him. He's man up on that wide 9 technique if he's in the game, or split zone where he's going to cross the back and get the opposite defensive end. If they go right, he goes left. So it's not been huge this year. But if you look at last year's with the pin and pull and what Stefanski's been known for, it's very big. Counter game, he gets to the second level on those backers. So, yeah, I think it'll help in the run game and the pass game, especially if they're going to stay in this 11 personnel. If they're committed to it, which I'm okay with, then he's important because of his ability to work the field, the middle of the field with the 3 other receivers in the game. So, yeah, run and pass game, Njoku's very important.